Hello and welcome to Meet Our Makers, an artist interview podcast produced in association with Beats Per Minute. I'm your host, Jeremy J. Facette. On this episode, we get to meet Kaki King. Kaki is best known as a guitarist, although her skills and her repertoire go far deeper than that label may sound to you. For years now, Kaki has honed a distinct style, mixing adept fingerpicking, strumming, and her signature trademark, tapping. It is through this mix of styles, as well as a very clever compositional ear, that has set Kaki apart from some of her contemporaries and given her a voice all her own. In this chat, we talk a lot about her style and the establishment of it, as well as her brand new album, Modern Yesterdays. We also talk a bit about how her live performances this past decade have begun sort of feeding into her studio album career, and what life has been like for her this year during the coronavirus pandemic. So thank you for listening, and please enjoy. This is me meeting Kaki King. Sounds like you're doing a lot of press these days.
I'm doing a lot of childcare and press, and
It's a juggling act.
Yeah, I'm not doing it very well, and I'm failing miserably on all levels. But it's 2020, and the fact that I'm even intelligible right now is a miracle. So I do apologize for all the delays, but here we are.
No, that's fine.
I'm very happy to be here.
I'm very happy to have you. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. So
let me know if I need to move about the house in search of Wi-Fi.
I know it's also like stormy tonight, so I hope that doesn't impact anyone.
Yeah.
You're in New York, right?
I am, yeah, and it's really brutal. Yeah.
Weather-wise, or you mean like COVID-wise?
I mean, like
everything.
Emotionally, it's been a brutal day. No, it's fine. Whatever. Bring it on. Bring on the hurricane. Remember when hurricanes used to be like a big deal, and now they just come through, and we're like, eh.
Yeah, I know, and we get so many now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm based in Connecticut, so I'm having the same exact weather you are right now.
Yeah, no, it's like Southern Louisiana. I mean, why even? Who even cares anymore?
I know my mother moved out there a few years ago, and it seems like since she moved out, there's been like 5 hurricanes a year.
Yeah,
just so many.
Yeah,
but she's been okay somehow, so
that's good.
It's like I never really paid that much attention to it, but now I do.
Yeah.
So all that aside, how are you doing? How have you been these days?
I am no better or worse than anyone. I would give myself a solid C-. I don't know. It's so funny. It's Thursday before the election, and it's very tricky to. I'm not going to come off and be like, it's fine, it's all good. I mean, it's a very, very, very fearful time. I am trying to focus on my kids, and that's a mess too, because they're fucking annoying as shit. They're 6 and 3, and they're hilarious. But oh my god,
are they like home like they're not in school right now?
They're in school.
Okay.
Sometimes. Right. So I almost always have one of them. It's fine. I mean, I really it's just confusing because I'm like, when do I have one of them? When can I do a thing? I mean, I don't have. Honestly, it was almost easier when they were both here because I just knew that they were here and I was here. And now it's like I gotta drop that one off, pick that one up, and take that one to the other thing because they no longer pick up from school the way they used to. I mean, it's and then there's like just home or whatever. Anyway, it's a lot to juggle. So, but I am happy that they're getting to see their friends. I'm happy that they're in school, etc.
Yeah, I'm a high school teacher, so I've been
in
the thick of this whole time.
Wow. Are you in class or
we remote? Are now. We were doing the both, like the hybrid thing for a while, but now we're fully back. So
oh god, I can't wait to be fully back. I need fully back.
So many parents, it's so divisive. Either they want all the time or they want fully remote. So many parents, it's like either way.
It's a bit, yeah. It's funny how I think that there's also like it's really like if you want to be fully remote, then you want those resources.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone else is like, well, if I'm going to send them in one day or 2 days, I would send them the whole time. I mean, it really is, it's night and day, but I think it's a fight over resources and time, and mainly teachers, teacher
mm-hmm.
resources. And yeah, but it's certainly like, there's been some major issues just in her, tiny little elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand why, I can understand the difficulty with that. And when does it end? When at what point do you say, gotta go to school? Yes, coronavirus will be around.
Yeah.
But, oh my God.
Yeah, it's tricky. Yeah. And also
what grades do you teach?
I teach freshmen and sophomores right now.
Okay. Oh, little messes. Oh my God, bless their hearts. How are your students faring?
They're okay. What do you say? They're surprisingly okay enough. I mean, I didn't know these kids last year, so I don't, I don't know if they're markedly different this year because of everything, but they seem all right. I mean, they're coping, and I think most of them are happy that they get to spend the day with people they know as opposed to being holed up in their bedroom all day.
Yeah.
Because like in the spring, when it first hit, we went fully remote from March to June.
Yeah.
So now it's like they get to
that was brutal.
Yeah. It was really a strange time for us too. And now in some senses, it's nice to be back with them. It helps get to know them a little bit, but there's still sort of a weirdness because of the masks and because of kind of not, some people are at home, some people are in front of me. So it's kind of like a little bit strange sometimes.
Yeah.
But the kids are okay. I think they're doing all right. I don't know. I can't speak for everywhere, but at least at our school, they seem to be doing okay.
Oh, right on. Well, that's good to hear.
I know. So I suppose we should talk about some music stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah, who needs it? Though the reason that you have, as you mentioned, and I mentioned, you've been doing PR is that you just put out a record. Modern Yesterdays came out almost a week ago. As of this recording on Cantaloupe Records. It's your first studio album in a little while.
Yes.
Your last one was it was a studio album, The Neck is a Bridge to the Body, but it was kind of like a live thing, sort of.
Well, it's interesting. Because both records they mirror each other in this way. Yeah, The Neck is a Bridge to the Body was a soundtrack to a live show.
Right. It was like a multimedia performance.
Yeah. A multimedia performance, but very song oriented. And, not just sort of listening to, ambient noise tableaus, but, very song to song driven. And so that was the last studio album. And then I had 2 children.
Oh, and since 2015? Or since the making of that record, anyway?
Since the making of the record, I did not. My daughter was, she was not. I'd have to think about that. She may have been born
roughly around that time.
Super small. She didn't make nearly as much noise as she does now. Anyway, so I think that explains the gap. But I did a lot of touring, and so that I made up for the. Yes, it's weird because I used to make a record every 2 years, and my pace slowed, but we'll see. Hopefully, now that they're both wiping their own asses, maybe I'll jump back in.
Freeze you up a bit. So this album, though, Modern Yesterdays, is, to my knowledge, seemingly the most sort of like one-to-one collaborative album that you've done, because who was it you worked with, the sound engineer that you worked with?
So my sound designer. Chloe Thompson. So this was all very serendipitous. She was the sound designer for a new show that I made called Data Not Found, and really Modern Yesterdays again is the companion piece to Data Not Found. And she was, she called herself a human pedal board. And, basically doing all of this live processing as I'm playing, making some really, really amazing sounds that I wouldn't be able to do just on my own from switching from patch to patch in one way or another. So she moved right down the street from me, and with her boyfriend Arjan, Miranda, and they moved into a studio. And they were like, this is what we're doing. We're going to live here and make records. And I was like, great, let's make a record. And we did. And it was that's how Modern Yesterdays came about. So a lot of the sounds that you hear are, they were kind of predetermined by the fact that Chloe and I were already working together. And like half the, we already knew half the music and a lot of the sounds that we wanted to hear in terms of processing.
Oh, okay. So was it largely composed, or was some of it even improvisational?
Like 4 songs were, I guess 4 or 5 songs were written during the process, or fully realized. And the rest though were very much like mapped out, and we knew what we were doing in advance, which is kind of typical for me, I would say.
Yeah, I was going to ask, because you've been you've been making albums for a while of largely instrumental music, but a lot of instrumentalists will make albums fully improvisationally, and I was wondering if you've ever really done that, or if you were more of a kind of careful composer.
I think that I like to come to a studio with some like a solid half that is really, because the thing about the way I play is that if it's not well rehearsed and really, really well thought out, it's kind of difficult it might be one thing to write, but it's really difficult to polish in a small time frame. So I like to have the stuff that's challenging. It needs really, strong performances. I like to have that kind of well done. And so it's kind of just a matter of getting a good take and then, figuring out how we mix it. The other songs, I'm really open to just figuring out what the studio has to offer and being in that environment, and being able to tweak things ever so slightly. The studio's always been really inspirational. So, and I think as I've grown, I've made a little bit more room for that. Like I feel less, like I would feel no problem walking into a studio with half an album. Whereas when I was younger, I was like, I need the whole album because, God forbid I look silly. And now I'm much more comfortable with looking silly.
Yeah. Well, also when you're just starting out, I can imagine that your means and your studio time are probably much more limited, so you don't have
or maybe
that's not true.
You're talking to someone who's been making records since the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And, I was on a major label once. I
that's true. Honestly, I was going to mention a lot of your albums were put out by Velour.
That was a Sony record. I mean, I think that, like a lot of, it depends on, it really depends on what you mean by that, because I would say that the record industry as a whole and the recording industry and people who make albums as a whole have gotten a lot smarter at making songs on their, outside of the studio.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the thing is, records don't make the kind of money they used to, but studios kind of cost the same. And so it's hard to sort of be like, I want to be in this studio I want to book it out fully for 2 months and live there. And that's really unheard of. That's so expensive.
Yeah.
And back in the day when a label had money for that, or someone you could finance, you'd make the money back, that would have happened. I think I spent 6 weeks. No, that's not true. I think I spent a total of 6 weeks recording and mixing my second album. And, in really, really high-end facilities. And I just wouldn't do that today.
Yeah. So really the landscape has changed.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. So what were some of the sort of driving motives or ideas that you were kind of toying with on this new record?
Well, I wanted to capture these songs that were in Data Not Found. And that was the impetus, was to, again, create this recording that would be, go hand in hand with a live show. So, and I think probably 5 out of the total songs on Modern Yesterdays are in Data Not Found. Maybe 6, I think. I'd have to look. So about half. And then the rest was like, okay, we'll just, we'll figure something out. So Chloe was this amazing discovery, because what she does is so unique. And I've never applied effects like that in that way to an acoustic guitar. So that was also new for me, but I really kind of put myself in, and not just, Chloe's really genius, and Arjan is really great too, really amazing engineer and mixer. So the two of them together, they were such a team. I kind of put it in their hands. And that was maybe my main objective, was to get them quality songs that they could then take into their world and and alter and mix in a way that was completely new as far as solo guitar recordings are concerned. I think that was really it. I was just really, really excited to offload these tunes to them, as opposed to have, kind of to lord over the proceedings and dictate what was happening, because it was, I think what we had come up with on stage and what we're doing live was, I knew it was going to translate well into an album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also The Neck is a Bridge to the Body and Modern Yesterdays, you said they kind of like go together in a sense, and they are very... Okay,
so The Neck is a Bridge to the Body is the name of the show and of an album.
Right.
Data Not Found was a new show that I finished in November of 2019.
Okay.
And that was going to be my 2020 and far beyond. It was a big theater show.
Oh, okay.
And so Modern Yesterdays is a line of text that I actually say out loud in Data Not Found. So Modern Yesterdays is the companion piece to Data Not Found.
Okay, got it.
They all stand alone. I'm not making junk, but again, they are, they do move in tandem.
Right. I was just going to say that the Modern Yesterdays and The Neck is a Bridge to the Body do have a very textural sound play kind of vibe that a lot of your solo work has sort of hadn't really done up to that point. So I wasn't too surprised to hear you say that a lot of it was sort of, like you said, sort of not lording over and kind of letting other people work their magic. Because I was wondering what this new project, especially how it pushed you as an artist, do you think?
The album specifically?
Yeah, or the show combined with it, or just like how has this experience sort of pushed you as an artist?
Well, the show is the big push, because The Neck is a Bridge to the Body was such a success in such a strange, unexpected sense, because it started to go from clubs and bars into theaters, where I could really tweak everything and get it perfect. And not perfect, but I could, the details all popped out so much better. And it was, very apparent that another theater piece would be in the works. And I wanted to explore more guitar technology, which I did. And I wanted to push myself into different spaces. And what ended up happening is I, for the first time, have a script and I have lines. And they're all based on stories that happened to me. They're personal, but they were, I wrote a story. It was then sent to a playwright named Anne Washburn. And she sort of, ripped it apart and put it back together, and in this really special, way, which my director, Annie Dorson, and I then kind of, combed through and trimmed some of the fat. And so it was almost like putting a paragraph through several different translators, but in the same language. It was really cool. So that is difficult for me to hold a guitar and play it well, is that I know how to do that, but to stand and to deliver a line that makes you feel something is terrifying to me. It's not what I do. It's never been what I do. It's still very uncomfortable. It's completely out of my wheelhouse. Standing on stage and talking to an audience is fine. Again, that's simple as well. But again, delivering, not even trying to sell it, but just to get it right, just to get it honest, is it's hard. I'm also playing drums in the show. I'm also, running around the stage, like basically to and fro from piece to piece. The sad thing is that it never, so I would say that pushed me artistically beyond anything I've ever done. And I haven't yet gotten the full exploration of it, because that would have been what would have happened on tour.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Are you at least tentatively planning to set that back up again if we ever get back to some sort of normal?
Yeah, listen, I am for hire. Whatever you want, I'll bring it. If you want a projection mapped guitar, got it. If you want a ukulele, I'm there. I don't care.
Right.
I'm for hire, and I have antibodies. I had COVID. Sign me up.
Oh wow.
I don't know. I am cautiously, well, I'm not optimistic about anything right now, but I am I'm ready to go.
Yeah, you miss performing, don't you?
I do. I miss performing, and you know what? People have been asking that a lot, and the performance is the best part, and the people are the second best part.
Mm-hmm.
Just hanging out with people after the show and talking to them, and I don't know, like getting the vibe of a place.
Yeah, and even if you did do a performance right now, it would be like probably an outdoor.
It would be
very
vibe-less.
Spaced out. You wouldn't get to hang out or meet anybody. It'd be very different.
Yeah. I have my ways. I would like, I know how to bump butts with people, let's say. But not having that visceral feeling of an audience reacting to what you're doing is challenging when it would almost be the same as performing to your phone, and there's really nothing worse than that.
Yeah, so you're not someone who's probably bound to do like an Instagram live show.
I've done some interviews and stuff. Occasionally I'll just turn it on and just play, because it forces me to play. That's true. But it's, at the end of the day, I'm still alone in the room. And on one hand, I'm thinking, well, that should be enough. That's always been enough. When I was a kid, that was enough. That still feels like enough. But I think without without something in sight, like without some kind of end game where like I've perfected this song, I've written this song for you, I'm not sure if I could continue to do this in a complete vacuum, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, it's extremely different. It's an extremely different experience to be performing to however many people that you can't see versus 500 people in a room. It's totally different.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter how many there are. It's the same, same vibe.
Yeah. So you have been known, obviously, as a guitarist for basically your whole career. I know you also play drums and percussion. But your first album, Everybody Loves You, came out in 2003, and you've pretty much been known as a guitarist since then. So I'm curious, what still excites you about that instrument?
Man, it is so infinitely interesting. It really is. I don't know. It grabbed me. That's all I can say. There's so much that one can do. You can spend your whole life in a very narrow genre of guitar and still not master that, which I find fascinating. Like, what if I switched today to jazz guitar? It would take me the rest of my life to even get to where the greats are, in their early 20s, just because of who I am. I just think it's so cool how versatile it is, and how much you can do with people, how much you can do on your own, it's portable, it's cheap, it's not it's not complicated. It doesn't necessarily need electricity. It's it's a great instrument. And it travels well. So I feel like for me, it's kind of something it's always there and it's always ready.
When did you start sort of playing the way you play? Because you don't play really traditionally, and you kind of never have on record anyway.
I started, so, it was when I was, I'd started playing guitar when I was really young, and I had a more of a classical background, but I was like 5 years old. And then my father, I quit taking lessons, I don't know, around the same, I didn't go for years and years playing guitar with a teacher, but my dad was playing blues guitar, and he would like come home and he'd have there'd always be this little guitar around the house for me to play. Like he didn't force it on me. He just kept a guitar that was my guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'd play a blues lick and he'd teach me, and then I would be like, oh, that's cool. And then I would like learn the pentatonic scale, and that was, ages 8 to 10. And then I learned a power chord, and that was ages 10 to 13. I didn't have a lot, but what I had was enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized at some point I wanted to get better at guitar. I already knew the basics. So the paths were classical, jazz, and metal. And those were places where you could have like a technical, a path to sort of this technical wizardry. And I just none of those appealed to me, but I'd always known about this other genre, fingerstyle guitar and detuning and finger picking, but also composition. That was really important to me. I loved writing music. I loved writing songs, but I wanted to, like if you go in, like jazz is really about improvisation, right? It's not necessarily as much composition focused. So I kind of fell into this style because I liked writing, and I liked writing in that style. That's kind of, the rest is history.
So it just kind of developed out of a natural sort of curiosity of sort of exploring the instrument.
Yeah. And again, like, oh wow, I can tune it differently. Oh man, that, that'll open up your life for a decade if you're not careful. And then, finger picking. Oh wait, but there's finger picking, and then there's also tapping. Okay. So, and I think there were just some things that just I felt like it was picking me.
Mm. Yeah. And I feel like your work started anyway, at least on record, very, very acoustic based. And
yeah.
I was relatively young when you started releasing records, but I think your work was the first time I had sort of seen that done on acoustic guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Were there other people who inspired that on acoustic?
Oh yeah. So first of all, there's a couple of people, John Fahey, and a lot of those like English folk singers in the 70s, Nick Drake and what's his name, and John Martin, and the guy that fronted oh my god, my brain, whatever. Anyway, they all were like really talented finger pickers, and they would sing and play in these different tunings, which I thought was rad. And so then, but there was this kind of, it's interesting. There was a famous record label called Windham Hill, and they were super big in the 80s in the new age world. I don't even really understand what new age means, other than like it was some kind of marketing tool. And and there was some corny music put out, but there was a lot of really amazing guitar music put out on that label, and my dad was into it. And so by the time I got into some of these records and artists like Alex Degrassi and Michael Hedges and Preston Reed, I would put on a CD, and I realized I knew these songs because I grew up with them, because my dad was always playing music in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a whole weird osmosis thing. So I was just copying them. I mean, I don't, I eventually, I think, made a very original voice for myself. But early on, I was like, oh, wait, what did that guy just do? I want to do that.
Did they do the tapping thing?
Yeah, some of them did, for sure.
Okay.
So, but they were writers. That was the thing. I mean, their compositions,
mm-hmm.
they weren't interpreted, which a lot of people are really talented at, like really great guitar interpretations of songs, but they were writers. And I was really enthralled by that idea. And so I grew up so when you're talking about the beginning of my career, I mean, you have to remember, I wasn't really trying to have a career. There was mm-hmm. no career in the early 2000s. very, very few people working as a career in solo guitar music who hadn't already been doing it for many decades.
Yeah.
And now there's dozens. And there are, you know, people younger than me that are doing really well. Yeah. And that's really, really, really exciting. I mean, I think it comes and goes, right?
Yeah, I mean, all those kinds of things come in waves. I do remember probably the way I found out about you, and a lot of people found out about you in the mid 2000s, was the Playing with Pink Noise video was actually like it was in rotation on you know VH1 or MTV or whatever the hell I was watching. Like I saw it like back when they, you know, played videos. And
that's so wild.
Yeah, and you were on like late night shows, and like
I was on late night shows. That really helped. And I was on NPR. I think I
was too young to listen to NPR at that point.
Oh man, that's so funny. Yeah, I got NPR and Conan O'Brien. Like I
distinctly remember watching you play Magazine on one of the shows.
That was on Letterman.
And I think that was the first one I had seen of yours, and I was like, what am I seeing? Because I had never seen anyone do that before.
Yeah.
Well, I know people had, but like at my age, I did not know that was a thing.
Well, listen, half of the places I've been, when I play a show and it's not directly to like my audience, like if I do a festival or something, I mean, literally people are like, oh my God, I've never seen anyone play guitar like that. And I'm like, it's just a small pool. Yeah. But there's plenty of talent out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's funny you brought up TV. I think that back then, I mean, it's so different now, but back then that was so legitimizing.
Mm-hmm.
I really had no idea how, like when I said I, you know, played on Conan O'Brien and then the next year played on David Letterman, it was like, welcome, like the door is open. and I'm very fortunate that, because those, I mean, again, it was so unlikely that anyone would be like, this person is just doing this crazy thing on the guitar, and without context.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like that guy or that other person, or like, oh, she's doing that thing. There wasn't a lot of that going on, even though those references existed. They, you know, they hadn't been in the mainstream for a couple decades. So,
well, and also like I saw your video, you know, come on after like, I don't know, like what, like an Evanescence video or something, like, you know, it was like, not like you say without context. It truly was. Right. Like no one, especially on popular music channels, like no one was doing that at that specific time on those airwaves.
Yeah.
So I think seeing you on a late night show or catching you on like the MTV block, like it wasn't like other things.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But you know, that's why I ask you like who your inspirations were, because I still feel ignorant to that, you know? Well,
and that's, you know, that's interesting. Because I think I was having this conversation with a young guitar playing friend. And it was not as if I was welcomed into the world that was happening, into the world of, you know, solo fingerstyle guitar players, some of them who are very well known. It was not like that didn't happen. And that's unfortunate, because it made me, and again, I wasn't like seeking or planning to have a career. That was not the plan, but I can see now how there's much more of a community and there's a lot more support and love and just, you know, good vibes going around. When I was young, it was so weirdly territorial and masculine, and I hate to say that, but true.
I was going to say, I'm sure sexism has a role in that.
That was really present. And so, you know, so I think that what happened is I sort of went, well, that world just doesn't, I mean, look, I had a lot of support in the guitar press. And everyone was really like, wow, this is amazing and great. But there was also like things where I could very clearly tell they'd not even listened to the album. You know, like there's just some fun, just, you know, some weird fun, like female tokenism.
Right.
But that said, it just made me go, okay, well, that's fine. I'm not worried about that. That's not where the warmth is. And I think that it made me less afraid to sort of do the experiments that I have done throughout the years. as in leave the acoustic guitar and do other crazy stuff, or sing, or play drums, or not, do looping with a lap steel. It made me, there's a very kind of specific, there's some unwritten rules to the solo guitar world. And the fact that I wasn't in any way really a part of it made me feel like, okay, well, let me see what else I can do.
Well, yeah, and you can see that over the course of your discography, because Everybody Loves You is so stripped back and so just you and the guitar. But then even as quickly as your second album, there's electric guitar, there's more drums, there's synths, there's you're singing, and you started singing more over the next few albums. Like,
yeah.
So you can kind of see that. You can see that sort of broadening happening. My last question, which is probably bound to embarrass you.
I highly doubt it, but you can go ahead and try.
No, I'm just joking. But if someone doesn't know who you are and they Google you, beyond your music, what is often said about you is that you are a virtuoso of your instrument. Is that a term that you would accept or are comfortable with, or is it something that you feel uncomfortable about?
I don't know. I don't feel, I feel that I don't know what that means. I'm wondering if it has more meaning in a certain terminology, like in a certain world. Like, is there a difference between a violinist and a virtuoso violinist? Like, is there some, level up that I have to, like boss that I have to beat or something that maybe I just got lucky. So no, I don't pay it much heed, but it does, unfortunately, to me. No, I'll say this: I'm grateful for any kind of compliment, and truly, I think that the virtuoso and all of the attention put on the technique takes away from attention that should be going to what, like I've been saying, like composition and writing. And no one says, people have come up to me and have said the most astounding things about what my music has done to them. And this is not something I've intended. It's just, it happened. Like, I got through rehab, I got through grad school, I got through my divorce, I gave birth, my father died. I'm an orthopedic surgeon, and this is a song I always put on when I'm literally doing surgery. Repeat. It's almost every single show that someone has this like big story of like how it helped them. And so that, and no one has ever said like the fact that you play really fast got me over my ex. Like, the fact that your fingers are really nimble and can do special things makes me feel closer to God. Like, no one has ever said that.
Right.
So the reaction I get from fans and from the people who like are really listening is always, what you wrote helped me, and that is the only thing I want to achieve. I don't care. It's not about how fast or how interesting or what kind of doodads you use. It's like, how do you touch people? How do they respond to that? And what do they do with it? And am I helping? So I guess that, I'm not embarrassed. And I appreciate the compliment, but I've had to fight my whole life to be recognized as someone that's kind of a little bit emo and not interested in your feelings about how well I play, because that's so subjective and silly.
Right. Yeah, I would imagine it's much, much more important and rewarding to get those very personal responses.
Sure. And it's much more rewarding to write something really great than to play something really fast.
True. Yeah. Because I mean, like, you can play as fast as you want, but if what you're writing isn't interesting to you or isn't moving people, then I guess, what's really the purpose there?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for talking to me tonight.
Thank you for your patience. I appreciate
no worries. I was very happy to wait. I was looking forward to talking to you. So
awesome.
So your new album, Modern Yesterdays, is out now already. People can go buy it and listen to it. It's really cool, and it doesn't sound like you kind of said, it doesn't really sound like what you might expect from a guitar record. So it's fun in that way too.
Good. Well, thank you, and good luck with your class.
Oh yes, thank you, and good luck. Yeah, and you know what? Next week, just try to stay positive. I was just interviewing someone, Anna Brun, from Norway, and yesterday or 2 days ago, and she ended the chat by saying good luck next week, and I just kind of chuckled and said thank you, and it took me until I signed off to realize what she was saying. And I was like, oh yeah, there's like a really big thing happening next week. It's really, really fucking scary. But
well, you know, I've traveled a lot, and here's the crazy thing. This is really, really, really important, but the whole rest of the damn world has always been obsessed with America, good or bad. And this has just sent the whole fucking thing over the edge.
Oh yeah.
Like the only things that my European friends, my South African friends, my Australian friends, the only thing they can talk about is Trump. The only fucking thing.
Yeah.
And you know, and that in unfortunately is the man's genius, is he all of the time he sucks out every molecule of oxygen in the room and keeps the focus on his fucking face, good or bad. And it's I don't know, it's artful.
Yeah, no, that is one way to put it, and it's definitely accurate. It's really bizarre, and I'm a little terrified, but I'm hoping against hope, I guess, is all we can do.
That's all we can do.
It feels so pessimistic, but I mean, it's so hard. It's so hard not to be right now.
We were burned so badly that there's no way to feel anything. There's no way to look at a poll or to be cheerful. It is like,
it's kind of like we have this gaping wound and we have like this tiny chance of getting like one Band-Aid, and I'm just like hoping we get it, and I don't even know if we will, but we might. Hopefully we do. We'll see.
I know.
But on that note, I hope you stay well, and I hope that you try to stay positive.
You know what? I'm gonna walk with a little more positivity. I'm gonna go and I'm only gonna scream under 10 times for her to brush her teeth.
Right. That's a good
tonight.
That's a good good goal.
Set a record. That's a good goal. Yeah. It's gonna be under 10. I'm gonna find right there. Thank you. Have a good one.
Have a good rest of your evening. Bye bye.